welcome to another edition of Pitch BrandTalk. Today I have with me Arjun Bhatia. He's the Chief Marketing Officer at Matrimony.com. And one thing I must say is the ads which Matrimony.com does put out, not just is they're not just fantastic pieces of work, but also makes one think about it. Arjun, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Simran. Great to be here on the show with you.
Arjun, you just come out with your latest campaign, Wedding Games. So, what was the insight and thought process behind this campaign?
Hmm. So we just came out with this wedding games campaign. Broadly, the insight was, whenever singles are going for any marriage of their friends, family, relatives, and all, there are this bunch of relatives, who are well wishers. By the way, they come and they really are very keen to know, typically noisy aunties and uncles. Then, when are you getting married? Should we find someone for you? So these are very awkward questions. They're all well-meaning people, as I said, but they have no idea about the individual. Now of course they've been kids and they've seen them, and seen them grow and start getting into their jobs or whatever professions they have, but they have no idea that what exactly is this particular person looking for. So their matching criteria are also very, very superficial, basis on, okay, this is your age. I know someone who's this age, younger to you or elder to you, similar family background, similar social status. But that's not what today's generation is looking for. As we all know, age of marriage is shifting. When 20, 30 years ago it was early 20s or mid 20s when people were getting married. Now that age is shifting. People have their own professional or personal goals to achieve first, and then they really want to kind of settle down. Or even if they are thinking of settling down, they need a certain time period to know and understand the other person before they commit into it. So, they find this whole situation extremely awkward, and they typically want to run away from it. But obviously, being family or distant relatives, they find it difficult. So that's what we wanted to capture in this piece of communication. And when we thought about it, obviously Olympics was around the corner, so we thought, why not to give it a fun twist as well? So lace it up with some humor, along with the awkwardness, the whole awkwardness of situation that is there. So yeah, that was broadly the insight with which we worked on the campaign in terms of the thought process and also the execution.
So, the Olympics was to kind of connect with Olympics, she pole once, right?
Yeah. Although
Literally.
kabaddi, I don't
Uh,
think so is there in Olympics, but yeah, we also wanted to
mhm.
keep it like a local
Humorous.
desi flavor as well. So yeah, in the sports realm, but yeah, that was the whole inspiration in terms of execution.
But I totally agree with you. This insight is something which a lot of people in India go through, and the right word which you used was awkward. So,
Yeah.
how are you looking to spread this message and your
So
marketing mix?
yeah, so today's generation is obviously much more digital first than TV. So this campaign is broadly digital first only, and we spoke to our our account managers at Google and Meta right before the campaign was even went on flow for production, and we had a bunch of ideas on how do we take it forward. So the phase one was to release the campaign, and now we are getting into the phase two where we are sort of amplifying it. By taking out different cuts of this campaign and making it more relevant for certain specific audiences when we play it for them, so that whenever anyone sees in this age group, he can really identify with it. So that's the idea. And for even further application, we are also looking at some influencers or content creators on seeing whether they can do a take of this. What do they feel about it? Have they seen this situation like this? And what do they feel about this ad? And what are their thoughts on it? And whether we can also use that as an extension to the whole idea of the campaign. And of course, it will be on all digital platforms to take it forward, be it Meta, be it Google, be it connected TV, OTTs, and all that. So that's the mediums. But from a creative standpoint, as I told you, doing different cuts to make it more relevant for people, and also using the creator pool to see how we can further propagate the message, because there can be a million ways of saying the same message, right? So we have a core message. We want the creativity of these influencers and creators to come and have their own expression layered on top of it, with the core insight being in the place. So that's broadly the thought we have.
Now, I just want to go back to the inside part of it, not just about this campaign, but broadly, you must have, you would have tons of consumer insights.
Mm.
Anything that has really stood out for you, and how you were able to use it, when you're making your marketing campaign? Anything that really stood out for you?
So see, what's changing right now, Simran, when it comes to marriages, is that even as early as 10 years ago, while there was a huge dramatic shift in our TG. The shift was that 7, 8, 10 years back, millennials were still in the marriageable age, so to say, and they were our core TG for advertising or communication or campaigns. But in the last 4, 5 years, Gen Z has entered into the marriageable age. They're just entering into it, depending upon how you see it. Like mid 25 is where currently the first cohort of Gen Zs are, and there are a lot of differences in the way millennials were and Gen Zs were. Gen Zs were born in an age where mobile devices or mobile internet connectivity was a given. Millennials still had that shift that they did from TV viewing to moving into digital and all that. So their thought process is very different. Their aspirations, their goals in life, what they want to do is very different. So that is also coming out in the way they interact with our products as well. Okay, so uh, even 7, 8 years ago, what we were seeing was, one was obviously, I told you earlier in when we spoke, that the age of marriages is shifting, and which we are
Correct.
clearly seeing after even COVID. I don't know if there is a connection on it, but definitely, earlier people were registering when they were in their early to mid 20s. That shift is happening now. Women are registering in late 20s. Men are registering from late 20s to early 30s for marriages. So definitely people are delaying marriages. And the reasons for that, when we speak to consumers or do any kind of immersions, it's typically the same thing only. There are certain professional and personal aspirations. We want to make sure that we are on the right path, and then look at these personal goals related to our marriages. So what's coming out in the product also is that earlier, the iterations of the versions of the products were such that the compatibility of people was on a slightly on a criteria which was more functional, I would say. Okay, age, income, occupation, language, region. Those were the things that took center stage, apart from horoscope matching and the traditional stuff that our cultures have, which are good, by the way. But yeah, those were taking the center stage. Now it is kind of changing, and the reversal that is happening is, it is more about what is the lifestyle of this individual. Okay, what is the personality of this individual? What are his likes and hobbies? Do I see him, as a true companion? So compatibility in itself is taking a different turn now. Earlier, compatibility meant something else. It was, more of two families coming together, cultural backgrounds being similar, socio-economic backgrounds being similar. Now, all that is given to a large extent, but what is coming more in front with the current generation is my personality, individualization that I have as a person. So the product is also changing accordingly. Last year we launched a campaign called Interest Match, wherein we brought in the matching of two individuals on the platform more on the criteria of how well will they gel from a compatibility score standpoint. So, and the uptake for that is extremely well that we are seeing in our product. So that's, one big change that we are seeing in the current generation of our consumers.
Now, one more thing, when we, look at all your campaigns, the common thread between your campaigns is like social messaging and
Hmm.
women empowerment. I must say, I particularly loved your Holy ad campaign last year, but
That's
unfortunately,
good.
that got the wrong response. But I'm
Yeah.
very glad you all stuck to your guns.
Yeah.
But
Thanks.
what is the strategy behind this? How did you come up with this entire social messaging and women empowerment theme?
So see, as you rightly said, we are a very women-centric focused brand because somewhere, in the last whatever since the marriages started, one thing has been very common in India, and I think in a lot of other countries also, and I would say even in the Western region, the scales are always tilted towards the males when it comes to marriages in many aspects, right? So we being of a women centric brand, one thing which was very very consciously like embedded in the DNA of the organization and hence the product was that this is a product which gives women an equal chance to express their personality and also get a choice that they want and not cave into any kind of pressures and all that. So that's where the whole core of the product has always been, and the messaging also has been. So over a period of time, the the way the country has progressed, obviously women have progressed a lot, so our messaging and themes have also changed accordingly. But at the core it has always remained, how can we empower women more. So if you see 10, 15, 20 years back when really communication or advertising started for matrimony, it was more of a parent first kind of a communication of the girls. That was the whole idea. Then it became a family conversation as things progressed. We entered into the new millennium and all that. It was more of a family decision. The girl was playing an equal part. Then we further shifted gears, and there was this campaign called the Sudha commercial, which said that the whole idea of the campaign was that the girl who's getting married, she had certain priorities related to her work. She loved her job and she wanted her husband to still accept her with the fact that her job will also be an equal part of her life, and she will not just give away everything that she's worked or has had dreams for just to get married. So that was a conversation at that point of time when it made sense. Obviously in today's day and age it doesn't make sense, it sounds silly now, right? But at that time it made sense. So the brand also kept growing with the maturity of the country and the way it was moving. Our campaign with Dhoni, which was just before COVID, it was called Find Your Equal, which again shifted a little bit of gears, where it said that just like men have a life, friends, family, responsibilities, women also have a life, and the marriage should be between equals, not that putting the husband on a pedestal that I am allowing you to do a job. There's nothing like that. So again, a generational or a shift in thought process that India has, and we kind of followed that. And the current one is obviously about forget about find your equal and all that. That is all done and dusted. Today's generation doesn't even believe in that. That is all given. It is more about, do I gel with this person? Do we vibe, as current generation says? So do we have the kind of interests or hobbies which we feel align well, and that's where we see a future in this relationship. The holy ad per se, so that's the broad journey of the brand. Specifically coming to the holy ad, the idea was, and we see this almost every year and across the length and breadth of the country where Holi is celebrated. It is used as a license to, be inappropriate with women. Uh, so that was the insight, that why don't we speak about it? Okay. And as brands, I think, and if you're standing for something, you're standing for women empowerment or equal rights, or portraying yourself as as a company which gives women an equal say in everything. It was important that we also spoke about this issue, right? So obviously there are sides to it. Does the brand have any role in this? Does not have a, but as a responsible citizen of country, and I feel brands are also citizens of the country, so to say. We felt that we should also voice it, what we are seeing. We should reflect it back, because that's the whole idea of communication and advertising also. Are you culturally reflecting back on what is happening in the country? So that's how we started, and that was the intention, to bring this conversation in the mainstream. But obviously, certain sections, or certain section of people gave it a different spin, which was never the intention of the organization. It was still the same point on, if men can enjoy something, why can't women enjoy it? It was all about the same stuff only, but obviously it got a different spin in certain sections of the internet. But I'm glad, whatever happened, because ultimately, this became a talking point. There was conversations which started happening, and people took sides. But what I feel is, even if few men saw that campaign and understood that yes, this is wrong and we should not follow herd mentality, I think the campaign served a purpose. So that's my point of view basically on it.
You mentioned the word individuality, right? Now, let's come to just taking that further to personalization and hyper personalization. You have a lot of profiles which are put up in on matrimony.com, and these are there are a lot of personal information also over there. So, just to how do you ensure the security in the place, and also the ease from how a consumer can go through your website with ease?
Okay, so yeah, privacy and safety is of paramount interest for our organization, because when you are sharing details about you online, and especially at in this much depth, you're being vulnerable, and you are giving a lot about you, unlike other platforms where you are sharing certain specific parts of your life. Here you have an open hand on sharing whatever you feel is right. And we have consumers who, of different kinds, people who share their aspirations, their dreams, their goals, or some people who might be a little restricted in what they're sharing, and all. But from a privacy and security standpoint, we give a lot of control to our consumers. You have the choice of partner preferences, which you can make it narrow or as wide as you want, so that everyone cannot see your profile also. It is to that extent. If I have a certain criteria of a prospective spouse in my mind, I put that as my hard preference on the platform, and no one outside that can even view my profile. It is not even available to see. So that is at one level. The other level is, basic stuff like I can hide my picture or my details on where I work, what is my education and all that, and only show it to someone when someone expresses an interest and I find the profile suitable for me. Okay. And then there are other things like, monitoring the platform for anything which is looking suspicious, any behavior, weeding them out. Of course, we weed them out at the entry also. But even if 1 or 2% enter, then monitoring profiles, we have a lot of AI built in the system also to see the behavior of all our users, because ultimately it's a online community, and we need to be sure that no one is disrupting the broad rules of the community and not harming anyone on the platform. So there is a lot of AI also which is involved. People can also report if they find anything wrong. So those are the measures that we put: partner preferences, the ability to hide your details and show it to only members with whom you are interested, or if someone has sent you an interest, whether you give a go ahead to see your pictures and all that. We also are cognizant of certain frauds that happen on matchmaking sites. So in fact, last year November December, we ran a campaign with Vidya Balan on Safe Matrimony, which is also very prominently visible on our app. Also, if you were to visit the app, wherein she talks about what are some of the common frauds that happen in the online matchmaking or even the online space. Not only matchmaking, frauds happen online on any kind of platform, and how users can stay alert and vigilant and avoid these issues. And the whole reason of taking someone of a Vidya Balan level of personality was to give it the due importance that these things deserve. And we being the leaders in the matchmaking space, we also felt that it is important for us to also speak as a leader on the issues that are there in the matchmaking industry, not shy away or put everything under the bed. Bring it out, let people get educated on these issues also, and know how to protect themselves these issues. So that was the whole idea of the Safe Matrimony campaign, and it is very visible to all our members all the time on the app also. And we aim to keep refreshing it also, because these fraudsters also keep becoming smarter by the day. Newer methods are evolving and all that. So we keep a close eye on what's happening and keep educating our consumers on what are the kind of frauds that potentially can happen, and how to be, as I said, vigilant about them.
Now, Matrimony.com was one of the original digital first companies, right?
Yeah.
And you use the word AI. So I just want to know, how do you see AI and other upcoming platforms help you in your efforts?
See, AI is a
Or the
game
role
changer.
they will take, the
Yeah,
role they
so
will have.
so AI is a game changer, Simran, in whatever industry or whatever even work stream that you look at. From our end, what we are doing, utilizing AI is one, as I told you, we are monitoring the behavior of users online, and any suspicious activity gets flagged, so that it can be further checked by humans. That is one aspect of it. The other aspect is also, we are just started utilizing AI for building individual profiles as well. See, what happens is, a lot of time, people really don't know how to express themselves. Not everyone is an expert in expressing themselves. So we are trying to see how we can use AI to help people, write about themselves on their profile, or what is it that they're expecting from their partner in a much better way. So there is a lot of work going on that. So you just give some important keywords on what you are or what you are expecting from your partner, and the AI helps you then kind of verbalize it for you, and then obviously you can edit, modify it, and put it on your profile. So that is another way that we are using AI for the end users convenience and ease. And then, of course, there are a bunch of other things also which are going on, even in marketing aspect on using AI. We are using, in fact, this wedding games script also, by the way. Once the first, edit came, first draft came for the script, I wanted it to be refined further, so I myself prompted AI that think like a noisy Punjabi uncle, and this is the scenario, and tell me what are the kind of questions that this uncle will ask and the auntie will ask. This is what we have made right now. And I was surprised to see the kind of responses that I got from AI, in terms of what are the kind of awkward questions uncles and aunties are likely to ask in a wedding in North India. you know and I was able to sharpen the communication using AI. In fact, some of the questions that are asked there in the Hindi language itself were given by AI. Not even a
Yes.
single word was changed. It was so perfect for me. So that's the other way that we have used AI.
That's interesting, especially, a lot of people, their profiles are not well written because it's not a clear reflection of the person. Like you
Right.
just said, they may not be able to express themselves. Finally, what next can we expect from matrimony.com? With that, looking to up your ad expense this year?
Sure. So, see, while we, as you said, we are almost a 25-year-old company now, and very well established number one player in the matchmaking industry in India and also globally for the NRI community. But if you still see the stats now, in India, roughly 100 million weddings happen every year. Okay. And out of those 100 million weddings, only 7 to 8% of people find a match online. So
Okay.
that's the headroom available for the
For growth.
industry and for us also, correct? So what we need to find out is, or we are finding out is, who are the non-users of the category and why is it that they are not coming onto the category to to better their search or widen their choices that are available. So and there is a lot of exciting work which is happening on that to bring in this non-category users. For example, there is one large category which is parents. Okay, so we are seeing that for parents, what are the barriers, why are they not able to come onto matchmaking platform? And there is some very exciting stuff coming around that as early as next week. I can't speak about right now, but you will see it very soon. As early as next week, we are launching something to help the non-using parents of the category. The other one was the Bharat, or the next billion internet users that we speak about. So we launched a very interesting product called Jodi 3 years back, which was for people who are essentially blue collared workers, non graduates, diploma holders, and all that. So there were a lot of barriers for them to get into online matchmaking. So we really broke those barriers with Jodi, which is a vernacular app, very simple and easy to use, priced at 1/10 of what packages are generally on these English first apps like Bharat Matrimony and all that. And it has done extremely well. We have over 10 million downloads on App Store for this, and again thousands of people have even got married through this app. So we are kind of straddling across all the socioeconomic classes in India, and seeing how can we bring the non-categories into the users, and the storytelling around that, which is the marketing job, then is obviously going to be very different, very interesting for all of them. So what we say for a Jodi audience versus parents who are non-category users of the category, or the Gen Zs that we are right now seeing, who are very, very used to, an Instagram or an OTT or a Amazon kind of platform. So for all of them, different things are required. It's a mix of AI, beautiful storytelling, influencers, creator work, regular classical brand marketing. So there is a whole piece of work which happens for all these categories, and that's what you can expect in the coming year as well.
Thank you so much, Arjun, for your time. It was lovely speaking to you.
Same here, Simran. Thank you so much for having me. Nice speaking to you.